So, of course, Dariel is bound to get into a lot of trouble with the Fitbitten.
なんか始まってる。
Fitbitten says that Dariel doesn't need to be here because he won't be able to build this blacksmith alone. So Fitbitten told Dariel to go home because this blacksmith would be taken over by him. After all, Dariel didn't know the smiths from other cities and had no qualified residents. Fitbitten had already brought in quality smiths from the town of Campbell, and Dariel wouldn't be able to go against the orders of Fitbitten, a very powerful B-rank adventurer. In Dariel's mind, Fitbitten was really a stubborn person. Then Dariel reported this to Anvil. Anvil understood that Fitbitten was very interested in this work because he could get so much profit. Maybe this is also Fitbitten's revenge, whose job Dariel has taken as Mithril Mine security. Not long after, Marika came there and hugged Dariel while scared. She asked for Dariel's help because an old man suddenly grabbed Marika's boobs. Upon hearing that, Dariel was furious, and the old man deserved to die now. Then the old man woke up and said that a teenager shouldn't hit an old man for being rude, even though he only held Marika's boobs. Well, it seems this old man needs some self-reflection first. Then Dariel said that a man should not speak like that in front of women, because that is sexual harassment. The old man didn't listen to what Dariel was saying, and he said that Dariel was just a low-level adventurer. Of course, Marika was angry because the old man had belittled and insulted Dariel, her beloved husband. Then the old man explained that he thought Dariel was a low-level adventurer because his sword was very strange. The old man knows that Dariel's sword is worn out, and Dariel cannot become a great adventurer with such a sword. Then Marika was still annoyed with the old man, and she said that Dariel had once fought the demon soldiers and C-rank snake monster alone with this sword. Of course, the old man was shocked and immediately checked Dariel's hand. He could sense what kind of aura adventurers had. After examining Dariel's hand, the old man found that Dariel matched all aura types. The old man was fortunate to meet Dariel, an adventurer with a rare aura. He introduced himself as a blacksmith named Smith and was here with his apprentice. Then Dariel brought Smith home, and he started telling them things. After hearing Smith's story, Dariel didn't understand and didn't know what he was telling. Then Marika says that Smith must be lying and using a fake name. If Smith was a legendary master blacksmith, surely everyone would recognize his name. Dariel asks Anvil about the name Smith, but Anvil says he's never heard of that name either. Then Smith is annoyed because they suspect him of being a bad person. Because of that, he immediately showed the letter from the Central Guild. The letter stated that Smith was indeed using an assumed name. Smith is ordered by Bisfrid to return to being a forge worker. Because of that, Smith asked for Dariel's help to take him to the blacksmith's place, which was determined by Bisfrid at that time. Dariel says that he can't take Smith to the blacksmith. Fitbitten and the workers from the town of Campbell have the place under control. Dariel wouldn't be able to negotiate with them either since Fitbittens were stubborn B-rank adventurers. Smith still told Dariel to drive him there, and Smith will do good negotiations with Fitbitten later. When they got there, it turned out that Smith begged Fitbitten by seducing him using an extraordinary male passion. Smith wanted to make one mithril weapon before he faced his death. If Fitbitten hadn't let Smith in, he would likely have vomited by now from drinking too many beers. Because of that, Fitbitten was forced to let stupid Smith work here temporarily, and his place would be segregated from the other workers. Of course, Dariel didn't expect Smith to engage in such lustful seduction. After Smith entered the blacksmith's house, he was very excited and didn't want to go home until he finished forging one weapon. Smith was very happy to see the mithril stone again. This small stone was enough to make a quality weapon. The workers there also seemed to have difficulty making weapons from mithril, whereas Smith underestimated them because these workers were just amateurs. Then Smith told Dariel to close the window, and he started heating the mithril. Smith could see the color and every point of pressure on the stone. Before forging mithril, a smith had to decide what weapon it would be. After Smith finished making the weapon, he told Dariel to try it by chopping a tree nearby. Dariel felt that a sword this big was not heavy and he could swing it like he was holding a kitchen knife. Then Dariel began to flow his power, and he felt an extraordinary flow from the sword. Dariel can cut a tree easily and quickly, like cutting tofu with a kitchen knife. However, Smith's mithril sword was too dangerous to use in battle. Before long, Fitbitten begged Smith to teach them how to forge mithril to other workers. Of course, Smith didn't want to because Fitbitten had insulted him earlier. He said that Fitbitten and the rest of the workers were idiots, amateurs, and incompetent at blacksmithing. Smith will report details about his behavior to Bisfrid later, so Bisfrid could give him punishment. Then Smith takes Dariel home and wants to teach Dariel the special tricks he used before. But when Dariel saw Fitbitten's reaction, he was furious and wanted revenge on Dariel, even though Dariel didn't do anything to Fitbitten. Please subscribe to my channel so I can reach 30,000 subscribers in March. Thank you to all of you. Smith is very happy and satisfied to be able to insult Fitbitten again. Dariel warns Smith not to make such taunts to them. Things would definitely become complicated if they were to cause trouble with Lux Village. Then Smith asked for his sword from Dariel. He wanted to keep it first. Of course, Dariel was disappointed because the sword wasn't for him. Smith said that someday he would make a weapon that had never existed. Smith's next dream is to experiment with various weapons until he finds one that suits him. Because of that, Smith wants Dariel to accompany him to try out every weapon Smith makes. From now on, Smith will be working in Lux Village, and Bisfrid will definitely agree with this decision. Smith said that he could steal mithril from Fitbitten secretly. When they got home, Smith showed Dariel the best tool, which Smith had bought from the black market. Dariel was surprised that the human race had a magic tool like this. Then Dariel told Smith that this stove ethanol magic device would not work if it was not ignited with magic. Initially, Smith was disappointed because he couldn't do the best masterpiece weapon. He was also surprised that Dariel could figure out this tool. But Dariel found the best solution for Smith to work towards achieving his dream. The next day, Dariel called Rizit through the communication magic that Rizit had devised long ago. Dariel introduced Smith to Rizit, and Rizit also brought gifts for Marika's family. Rizit said he couldn't help Smith if he wanted to mass-produce weapons. Then Smith said that he would not make many weapons for war. It's been a long time since Smith retired from this blacksmithing job, but Dariel is an adventurer who brings Smith back to work again. Smith didn't want to waste this opportunity and wanted to repay Dariel for taking over the mithril mine, so he asked for Rizit's help to ignite the stove ethanol with magic. Dariel is a rare adventurer who has compatibility with 4 aura types, and no one can beat him. Because of that, Smith wanted to make a special weapon for Dariel. He didn't give the sword before because it was just a prototype, only made carelessly and has not been refined by Smith. Then the process of making Dariel's special weapon begins. Not long after, Fitbitten came there and asked Dariel to talk privately. Fitbitten says that the mithril mines have been taken over by Dariel, so the mine was the full right of Lux Village, but the Central Guild controlled the mithril mine. Dariel and the other residents have been tricked by Bisfrid, who wants to get abundant wealth. Central guilds will continue to take advantage of such an advantage, and Fitbitten advised Dariel to work together. If Campbelltown and Lux Village were to unite, they could defeat the Central Guild and expose their cunning. After that, they could control mithril with the profits shared by both sides. Then Dariel refused Fitbitten's invitation because he knew that Fitbitten was only provoking him. After all, Fitbitten had hurt many people that Dariel cared about, especially Marika, Geshida, and Rizit. Upon hearing that, Fitbitten threw his gloves at Dariel. Dariel immediately took it because he thought Fitbitten was making fun of him. But Fitbitten says that Dariel has to duel him in the village square tomorrow. Fitbitten will take away all the rights that Dariel has, and he will definitely win because he is a B-rank adventurer. Of course, Dariel was confused because he didn't understand Fitbitten's intention. Then Amble and the others explained that Dariel accepted Fitbitten's challenge for taking his gloves. Whoever loses will be taken right of honor, position, or whatever. The winner can also kill the loser, and other people usually use this method for revenge. Amble believes that Fitbitten wants to take control of the entire mithril mine alone, so he challenged Dariel like this. Everyone hesitated because Dariel's life could be at stake in tomorrow's duel. If Dariel surrenders or escapes, the mithril mine will belong to Fitbitten. In Dariel's mind, he just remembered that this is one of the rules of the human race, but he said out loud that he would still be dueling Fitbitten tomorrow. Because of that, Smith and Rizit immediately sped up the creation of a special weapon for Dariel. Smith will also teach Dariel how to use mithril weapons. After Smith taught Dariel was still practicing according to Smith's instructions until late at night. Not long after, Marika came there to give him hot tea. Marika worries about Dariel's health because he has been working too hard lately. As they sat together, Marika asked, "Do you really want to fight?" Dariel replied that he was fighting Fitbitten anyway. Dariel wants to silence Fitbitten later so everyone can be happy. There was silence for a moment, and Marika, with a sad face, said that she would prepare Dariel's favorite dinner tomorrow. She wanted Dariel to come home safely. Then Marika immediately left with a sad face, and Dariel realized Marika's worried feelings. The next day, Dariel managed to master the technique taught by Smith. Then he immediately went to the village square, and Fitbitten was surprised that Dariel was not afraid to fight him. The duel's winner will be determined when one has given up or is not strong enough to fight anymore. If there is a dangerous condition, the duel must be stopped. Then Fitbitten started bringing out the new mithril weapons the workers had made. He also wanted to know what weapon Dariel was using because he must have gotten something from Smith. But when Dariel pulled out his weapon, Fitbitten laughed because Dariel only got a weak kitchen knife. He didn't expect that stupid Smith would make this little knife. In Dariel's mind, he was very confident in fighting Fitbitten. He also doesn't want knockers to be workers under Fitbitten's behest. Then Fitbitten told Dariel to use a more appropriate weapon. But suddenly,
まともな武器に持ち帰るまで待ってや。おった。伸びたままだ。歯が伸びるのか。何者にも止められはせん。ないだろう。お前が最初に奪ったんだ。私の仕事を。
Smith said that the Hermes sword he made could match the user's aura. The sword is perfect for Dariel, who has 4 types of aura and can't be beaten by anyone. The winner of this duel was Dariel, who was very tired from pouring a lot of aura from his body into the sword. Then Marika approached Dariel, and she was very happy because the man she loved managed to save the village again. Then Bisfrid immediately went to Dariel's house because he had just received news about Fitbitten's behavior. He apologized profusely to Dariel. Bisfrid will also punish Fitbitten with appropriate punishment later in the Central Guild. Then Dariel suggests that he wants Fitbitten and the others to repair the damage from the previous battle. It was a good punishment for them. After all, Dariel also felt guilty towards Fitbitten for taking his job at the Mithril mine back then. Of course, Bisfrid and the others were shocked that Dariel decided on such a punishment. Then Bisfrid wanted Dariel to trust the Central Guild again as the manager of the Mithril mines. Bisfrid also wants to repay Dariel's kindness by giving him a position and job in the Central Guild. At the Adventurers Guild Hot Springs, Dariel was still thinking about the offer from Bisfrid this afternoon. He was surprised by the offer from Bisfrid because it was a golden opportunity to develop himself further. Even Anvil also agreed if Dariel wanted to work in the Central Guild. It was a rare opportunity, and the job was well deserved for Dariel. Dariel thought that, most likely, he could find information about his parents there. Before long, someone entered there to take a bath with Dariel.
部屋広いんだから、横に来なくてもいいよ。
少しお話ししませんか？こんばんは、ダリエルさん。
餅が？